Against West Ham. Let's have a word from both managers.
We've been excited over the years with your youngsters, but when you look at some of the West Ham players, what about Canute? He's interested you as a player, hasn't he?
He is a real handful, yeah. He's a big, aggressive boy, and you know he can be very useful, yes.
What do you think his strengths have been for West Ham?
I think that he's brought that physical presence to the front line, plus the fact he's got a good degree of skill. Good dribble of the ball, very, very strong. He's a real handful.
And Di Canio, he's quite an exciting
player.
What do you like about him?
Well, he's a supremely talented player, beautiful balance, two great feet, works really hard in his game, you know, in terms of movement and things like that. Very good player.
One of the revelations here this season has been Teddy Sheringham. What do you think about Teddy Sheringham?
I think Teddy's a special player. You know, I was in with a shout of signing him in the summer, to be fair. I think Teddy wasn't sure if he wanted to come back to London at the time to be closer to his son or whatever, and I spoke with his agent. And looking back on it, really, he certainly was one that we, should have pushed the boat out for, because I've always been a big fan of his. He's a special player.
But he has been remarkable this season.
Yeah, his goals have been fantastic, haven't they? So we've got to be aware of him today, him and Cole, and you know, the movement of Teddy coming short. We've got to be aware. But we know what to expect from them. They're an outstanding team, but I think we've got players today that, you know, we've got Cole and Di Canio and Canute up front. We're going to be positive. We're going to play a very attacking team, and we're going to look to have a go at the game if we can.
Terry, why for you has Sheringham come back to be so good this season?
Well, he's always been underestimated, and wrongly so. He's a player that brings the best out of himself and also his partner. He can finish with he may be the best in the game at finishing and passing with his right foot, his left foot, and also finishing with a header. There's no doubt about it. I think this season he feels like a first team regular. In the past, he's always felt whatever he's had to do is have to be the best every game, otherwise he gets left out. It was York and Cole, but now you can see whoever's going to be playing up front, it looks like Teddy's going to be one of them at the moment, and that's given him even more confidence.
As Alex Ferguson said, Canute is quite a player, isn't he? Are you impressed with him?
Initially I wasn't, Des. I've got to admit, the first time I saw him, I thought he was poor, and I thought he should have been taken off during the game. But he stayed with him, Harry, and for 3.7 million, he offers an awful lot of money. He's 23 years young. He's a big, strong athlete. He's got a lot about him. He's powerful in the air. He can afford to leave him up front by himself, and he can create goals for himself. He's aware of other people around him. The one thing I really like about him is if you put the ball up to him, he can get turned and he can leave people with his pace and his strength in his wake. He gets the goals. I mean, this is in the FA Cup. He scored a couple of goals in his FA Cup debut. He's the main danger. They need the ball up to him. He's definitely the main danger for Man U.
He did star here when they played in the Premiership, although they, as I said before, they got pretty well beaten. But he had a good game here, didn't he, on that day?
He did. He played really well. He got the goal, and he was the one shining light, I suppose. And Yapstam and Gary Neville are very much up against it.
He hasn't played for France yet, though, has he?
No, he's got unfortunately for him, he's got a long line of top quality centre forwards in front of him. He's learning his trade. But he's 23 years old, like I said. I think he's had a bid for 8 million knockback already.
Yeah.
Or he's decided he's worth more than that. I can only agree with him.
He was a bit of a steal then for West Ham. What was it,
3.7?
Yeah.
Yeah, for nothing. He scored 7 goals in 7 games, and who's to say he won't get one today?
Yeah. Do you want to have a little hunch at what sort of scoreline we're...
Well, I've got a very strong... It depends how long Canute stays on the field, and I think it's as big as that. They might get something on if he stays on 7.
Just trying him out, sort of thing.
But he might just put him on and then say, well, he's not going to do it. But it's not just what a good player is. Who can he put on to take his
hunch
place?
of the scoreline, hunch sort of score we're looking for today?
Depends if he stays on. I do think they can get something. If not, it really looks like well in the favour of Man United. I'd say to 2 to 3-1.
I'll go for 2-1.
2-1 or 3-1, something like that.
Anyway, Man U will win the game.
So a lot of goals would be nice anyway.
Entertainment, goals.
Entertainment is what we're after. Let's join our commentary team. We'll hear from Ron Atkinson in a few moments or two. But first, it's Clive Tilsley.
Thank you, Des, and good afternoon, everybody. Kiss of death, I know, but the last 5 encounters between these two sides, an average of 5 goals per match.
This is the theatre of dreams. Will you please welcome West Ham United and Manchester United?
Just as with the third round, ITV's cameras are in the company of the largest crowd of FA Cup weekend. 1 or 2 grounds were less than full yesterday. The biggest ground in the country is packed to the rafters this afternoon and bubbling with a unique atmosphere, because only in the FA Cup could a club like West Ham bring a 9,000 strong away following to Old Trafford. This is how it should be. Neither team lineup is exactly how the manager wanted them to be, but Manchester United are close to full strength. Fabian Barthez plays his first English Cup tie in goal. Dennis Irwin's rich experience has got the nod over Phil Neville at right back. Gary Neville, it seems now, is an established centre-back. Jaap Stam is nearing full match sharpness again after injury, while Michael Silvestre returns at left back. Like Silvestre, David Beckham was given last week off, but he's with us again. Roy Keane lifted the FA Cup in 1999. There's no Paul Scholes, he's got flu. Nicky Butt plays in the engine room. And then it's Ryan Giggs hoping to make it all the way to his native Cardiff this year. Reunited for the first time since November the 8th in attack, Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole, who makes his first start since his Achilles operation. The formation is as familiar as the faces in it, although there's always room for manoeuvre for the likes of Sheringham, Beckham and Giggs, but there is no better advert for 4-4-2 than Manchester United. Manchester United away, just the draw you want when you're without 7 first-team squad players. The bonus for West Ham is the return of Shaka Hislop in goal after a knee injury. In defence, the Finnish international Hannu Tihinen plays only his 6th game for the club. Scotland's Christian Daly plays only his 2nd game for the club. But they'll not be short of help or advice with Stuart Pearce alongside them. There's a newcomer at right wing-back too, the Frenchman Sébastien Schürrle. But an old hand on the left, the evergreen Nigel Winterburn. Then this youthful all-England midfield. Frank Lampard is the old boy at 22. Michael Carrick is just 19. And alongside him, and younger still, Joe Cole. Plenty there to catch Sven-Göran Eriksson's imagination this afternoon. Talking of imagination, Paolo Di Canio is fit and well and playing at Old Trafford. And so is Frederic Canute, despite worries over a calf injury. Interesting, on New Year's Day, Harry Redknapp opened with a back four against Manchester United here, then switched to this formation at half-time in the game because his team had been unable to get close to their opponents in midfield. And with 2 passing teams like these, midfield is bound to be the key, Ron. There's some terrific players in that area of the field.
Yeah, some great players there, and a lot of them English, and it's a great opportunity for the new manager to look at them. None more so than this man, a man who we reckon he'll build his team around, David Beckham. Playing wide today, great crosser of the ball, great passer, industrious. And on the other side, Joe Cole, who's the bright young thing. And we understand that Cole's going to play in a right-hand position, possibly for West Ham. So I'd be interested to make a comparison.
Paul Durkin, who has been in charge of an FA Cup final in the past, is in charge of this AXA-sponsored FA Cup 4th round tie at Old Trafford. A year ago, the Manchester United players were showing off their Copacabana suntans whilst others chased FA Cup glory. That year's abstinence seems only to have made them hungrier for what was missing from their staple diet last season. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Tihinen beating Cole to it in the air. Cole down to Lampard, who tries to free Canute, and Barthez, his fellow countryman, immediately committed. I told you there were some skillful players on the field.
That's out of order. Does he not know this is a final FA Cup match? Brilliant, though.
Well, I hope that set the tone for the afternoon. A fabulous backheel by Fabian Barthez.
Tell you what was a little bit worrying for me there, though. I thought when the ball was threaded through, you know, I thought Canute was in with a shout, and he didn't seem to go the distance on it. Whether he give up early or whether he is a bit hampered by that calf injury.
Well, he's almost thrown the gauntlet down to the likes of Di Canio and Sheringham. If the goalkeeper can do it, surely they all can. Here's Lampard. Michael Carrick. Hannu Tihinen. This is Sébastien Schürrle. West Ham just getting a feel for the ball, trying to bed in here. 27 days since they were soundly beaten in a Premiership match here. They were a goal down in 2 minutes that day, lost 3-1. Mind you, last season they scored first here and lost 7-1. One way and another, West Ham have lost their last 11 games on this ground.
Yeah, just looking at their team formation, there's an offside there given against Cole, I think. But just looking at...
It's Abdul the Bartes first.
This is where I thought he gave up the chase a little bit there. Surely never in a million years he's seen him play. That's phenomenal. But just having a look at their lineup, you know, I think Joe Cole is going to operate on the right-hand side, and Di Canio is going to play a bit on the left. What they're trying to do is spread the field and try and block United's back four in.
The West Ham have started on the front foot here.
Yeah, they will have learnt, won't they, from the previous league match where they sat back, absorbed pressure, got murdered, and second half came out and had a bit of a go and got some self-respect out of the game. I must admit, you know, when the draw was made, I had a quiet fancy for West Ham, but United seem to have got stronger, if anything.
Bartes taking no chances this time. Beckham glanced onto Cole. Tihinen coming between Cole and Sheringham, finding only Nicky Butler. Neville coached into the path of Andy Cole. Never quite had that under control. Bound to be a little bit rusty, Cole. He's had 45 minutes in 2 substitute appearances against Bradford and Aston Villa since his Achilles operation at the start of November, but back in the first 11 today. Here's the man who must set the temperature for the West Ham performance today. Stuart Pearce, 38 years young.
And he can do as much with his mouth as he can with his feet tonight in terms of organising, pulling people into positions, keeping people moving about.
Yeah, Harry Redknapp has a manager on the field. As the only man who's ever managed teams to 4 FA Cup successes. And he wants some more before he finishes. It is a crackling atmosphere, and this huge travelling West Ham support, and the club have actually paid for the travel of more than half of them, are bringing a little bit more out of the Manchester United home support as a result. Mind you, a lot of them travelled at the M1 together today. Beckham towards Cole, an overhit.
Such an interchange of positions then when Beckham dropped deep to receive that ball. You got Keane bombing on into a forward position, Sheringham dropping off short into a midfield area, and Giggs had gone through with the strikers. It's very hard to play against them. It's very hard to have a team plan in terms of man marking people. They're so fluid and flexible.
Giggs trying to sell a dummy to Shermel, who was having none of it. Here's Canute. Just unable to protect the ball from Stam. It is a Manchester United throw. Sheringham unusually light with the pass, and Joe Cole rides a challenge from Roy Keane, but gets a free kick anyway. Keane handing out his first rollicking of the afternoon to a teammate. It's Mikel Silvestre who's on the end of it. Welcome back. Tihinen with the free kick. Header away by Gary Neville. Manchester United haven't really got hold of the ball yet. Di Canio has linked up with Shermel, and chances here for West Ham United. And Shermel was maybe a little ambitious in the end. He got a bit excited, Ron.
I thought he panicked. You're right, spot on. I thought he panicked there a little bit. When it first went out, I thought this is Joe Cole. He'll just face it round the corner, and there may be a strike on, but he's panicked. He's got excited. But nice little passing that got him in there. The one I'm watching a bit, I know Ericsson's probably watching several of the midfield players, and Andy Cole and Sheringham, people like that. I'm having a look at Canute. I'm not too sure. I know he's had the injury, but I'm not too sure he's completely at ease with himself.
There is one fourth-round tie already underway today, just up the road at the Reebok Stadium. And the latest score in that 1 o'clock kickoff is Bolton Wanderers 3, Scunthorpe United 1, and Dean Holdsworth has scored a hat-trick for the home team. Beckham and Cole running into the same space. Stuart Pearce forcing his very considerable presence between them. Quite a cagey start.
I think that's the beauty of United now. They know that at any given time in a game, they're capable of scoring. A number of times when they seem to be even Steven, and here we go again.
Giggs coming in off the flank. Shermel came with it. And Di Canio wins the ball from Nicky Butt. Held up by Keane and tumbled by the Manchester United skipper, who kicked the ball away.
I think Di Canio, Paolo might have been a bit fortunate there, I think. You see, he seemed to run out of ideas then, which is unusual for him.
Christian Daly is trotting forward to augment the West Ham threat here. Lampard in towards Daly, jumping against Dennis Irwin, who did well actually.
He did do well, but the two big fellas went against Neville and Irwin. I'm surprised Stam didn't come over and pick one of them up.
Good ball from Keane to Butt. And from Neville to Giggs. Inviting Silvestre to try to run his fellow countryman Shermel, who had a yard start, a metre start I should say probably. Decision has gone Manchester United's way. It is a free kick. Stam is up there. Silvestre has joined in too. It's David Beckham in towards Mikel Silvestre. Goal kick.
I think that's a little bit of a softer ball than usually he whips in. He's hit the right area, but unfortunately Silvestre's not really on the move.
The irony, of course, is that David Beckham hails from West Ham United's manor, although he was a boyhood Manchester United fan. But it's a little galling when he grew up just down the road from where you play your football, and now you're having to try to cope with him.
That's something you don't like to see. Certainly Harry Redknapp wouldn't be too pleased with that. I know he's got no alternative, but his luck not even taking his own goal kicks.
On by Cole very cleverly into the path of Shermel. And for the second time his delivery is a bit disappointing. Now, did Di Canio keep that in? He didn't actually. It was a goal kick.
Yeah, that's always been a West Ham trademark, their ability to cross good balls from wide areas, and two occasions he's been there, Shermel, he's disappointed.
Andy Cole into the path of Buttu, lets it run for Teddy Sheringham. Nothing to his left, Giggs have come infield. Silvestre, though, has seen Beckham. Giggs is still in a central position, Tichinen heads away. Joe Cole brings under control, Roy Keane managed to reach it. It's a Manchester United throw.
They're sticking to the task in midfield, West Ham, the young lads there. But it's a hard one for them because there's so much movement from the United players. And obviously the West Ham players, Carrick, Lampard and Cole, prefer to be when they're dominating games. That's their main strength.
Beckham, Cole, Irwin was on his way. Look who's got back with him, Paolo Di Canio. Well, he's trusting the kicking of his goalkeeper, Shaka Hislop, who's been nursing a knee injury for the last couple of weeks. Didn't take the opening goal kick, and so I think West Ham have got to be aware of that Hislop is playing with a handicap. He's had an assist on the back of his knee which burst and has missed the last game and a half as a result of that. Craig Forrest, his deputy, who's conceded 16 goals on his last 2 visits to Old Trafford, may be relieved to see Hislop pass his fitness test this morning.
Yeah, they've got to be brave enough, West Ham, if they're going to get anything out of the game. That, as I say, the young midfield players have got to be brave enough when they get it to stick to the guns and keep popping it back, keep playing it around.
throwback.
I must admit, since the draw's been made, I've been looking forward to this game. I think
Sylvester into Cole. Did well to control out on the chest and whip it away from Tihinen and make space for himself, but it's Joe Cole who's back there robbing him, and then Roy Keane picking the pocket of Christian Daly. Mikel Sylvester, Ryan Giggs. Turn away by Nigel Winterburn as far as David Beckham. Nicky Butt.
we've got them at full stretch at this very moment.
Beckham back out to Giggs. Now Keane. Sylvester joining in. Slipped into Sheringham. Concerted pressure. Giggs with a cross charged down by Sherman. Headed away by Daly. Buck trying to keep the heat on, but finds only Carrick. Very carefully away to Canute, and West Ham have a chance to break. Joe Cole on the ball. Ooh, it just bobbled a bit in front of him, but it's run now for Frank Lampard, and here's Carrick. Dicanio looking for the ball.
Keep the ball 1 and 2, Toots. Don't give it away.
Weaving run from Dicanio, eventually checked by Ryan Giggs. There's been a lot said about the fact that Dicanio has missed West Ham United's last 2 games here through illness. And I think that's registered with the Italian. Not exactly a stranger to big games. The quality of teams he's played for in Italy. He's found Canute. But trying to get in a charge, but I think Manchester United are very respectful of the sheer ability that they're facing up to today, and there's Carrick underlining that. It's the one part of his game which Harry Redknapp still feels there's room for improvement with Michael Carrick goal scoring, but he's got just about everything else.
That was excellent play. I mean, he moves the ball quickly, quick feet, a sight and own goal. I didn't think this was that far adrift. No, it was.
Hislop having to kick again, put under pressure by Daly, needs some help from Tihinen, and West Ham United got away with it, but clearly when the ball comes to him on the ground, Shaggy Hislop is not happy.
Tell you what, to be fair to Clive, if that's the best he can offer, I mean, that was harmless, and he's all at stretch, he's worried about his leg injury. He should come off, he should put the other lad on, Forrest, quickly. Because United will sense that now, they'll chase everything down. Anything played back towards the keeper, they'll hound him.
Joe Cole, a little back flick which didn't quite come off, but he won a free kick from Mikel Sylvester. So many teams come here to spoil against Manchester United. Harry Redknapp is almost setting them a different kind of challenge, a different kind of test today, because his team want to play too.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt he will have picked up plenty from the league game here. They were non-entities first half, second half, as I say, played very well. And if you've got a team that's better coming forward, then surely that's the way to play.
Foul by Canute on Sylvester. Sheer animal strength that he has being used to the full to hold off the defender, but illegally. Neville to Butt. It's caught by Sherman. Signed on loan until the end of the season from Metz last week, the number 30, the right wing back, Sebastian Schirmel. Beckham to Giggs, ran away from him to Dicanio. Now Winterburn. Dicanio gathering it in, holding off Keane, stepping between Keane and Beckham. Oh, he's like a slalom skier, terrific balance.
Very unlucky, he didn't get his last ball through though. Canute has been given offside, but that was tremendous skill from Paolo Dicanio. Weaving, bobbing, nearly slid a through ball in. That's what he's about. He is inventive.
And going past proper players too.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a who's who as he was dribbling there, wasn't it? But somehow or other, West Ham have got to take the game another 40 yards up the field and get into that in the last third of the field. Interesting game at the moment, though, isn't it?
Yes, Harry Redknapp has not gone gung-ho. As you suggested, Dicanio's got almost a deep line roll out here on the left-hand side. It's virtually a 5-man midfield with Joe Cole operating from the right. And when they do get it, they can keep it.
I think what they did, I think they got pulled all over the pitch when United were transferring the ball in that league game. I think what Harry's tried to do is make sure when they lose possession, they can block the whole width of the match at the field off.
Teddy Sheringham, Ryan Giggs, tackled by Stuart Pearce. It's come for Andy Cole, trying to create some shooting space. 4 crowding around him immediately and getting in their challenges, and it runs for Winterburn to clear. Canute beaten to it by Stam, but it runs for Joe Cole. Sherman. Lampard to Carrick. Now Winterburn. Had to wait because Canute ran offside. There's Di Canio. He was looking for that. He got it. Nicky Butt caught him. Second anniversary of his controversial move from Sheffield Wednesday today. Paolo Di Canio. I think there were a lot of people who felt that he was an aria sure of the full opera when he came, and he hasn't disappointed them at times, but there will be more good days than bad days in West Ham colours for Di Canio, that's for sure. Giggs. Three for company, and he's managed at least to squeeze a throw-in out of his cover. But he's got away from Cole momentarily, and Joe Cole had some catching up to do there and has conceded a corner kick. Beckham, who gets abuse when he takes a corner from this side, and high praise when he takes one from the far side. In towards Stam. Headed away. In rather comical start by Christian Daly.
There's a sort of semi-appeal for a penalty there, actually, from the United lads. They're insisting that he maybe took it away with his hands. Wasn't the most elegant clearance.
Asking a lot of Canute.
Some great technical play, some great build-up play. What we could do with now is just that little bit of fire in the box. Moments from the goalkeeper's heart-stopping moment when he backheeled it, Bartes.
That's terrific link play, Sheringham into the path of Keane. Corner kick, Manchester United full cry there.
And the main drama at this end has come when the ball's been played back to Hislop. Now United, that last one, you know, Stam looked as if he was on the end of it, didn't he? The last cross from the left, last corner.
Stam is forward, Silvestre is forward. Beckham will take. It's towards Stam again, and it almost reached him again. Stuart Pearce diverted it away this time. Owen unable to keep it in. It's his third game back after 4 months out with an Achilles problem. Jaap Stam.
Massive difference for them. It gives them that extra physical presence at the back. Gives them a leading header and somebody that can look after the heavy stuff if necessary. I thought they missed him particularly against Emil Heskey when Liverpool came here. He muscled them a little bit.
Free kick to Manchester United. It's Hannu Tihinen, who's Sami Hyypiä's partner at the heart of the Finnish international defence. Another one for Sven-Göran Eriksson to keep an eye on today. With Finland upcoming on England's World Cup rota. Owen. Beckham. Keane to Neville. Manchester United certainly haven't tried to rush West Ham today. They've tried to pick their way through. Beckham with a dangerous ball in, which Tihinen deals with, and then Carrick. On by Cole, up to Canute. Hasn't quite been able to hold it up yet. He's a lonely figure there, and he's not
Doesn't look at sorts to me. He looks, his body language didn't look too good.
Keen to Sheringham. Was a gamble playing him today. When I spoke to Harry Redknapp first thing, he really didn't give me the impression he was going to play, but he had virtually no other option.
Oh, look at that.
Fabulous from Giggs. In towards Cole. Now Sheringham. Turned away by Tihin, and Andy Cole has another attempt. But the skill and the cross from Ryan Giggs deserved a goal. It's brilliant.
That was unbelievable, wasn't it? Double little spin drag back. And the cross, look at it, here we go, see ya. And this is it, oh, see ya, oh. Great ball into the danger zone, unfortunately, some very, very alert defending from the West Ham lads.
What did you call it, a double spin drag
I don't know what it was unbelievable. It was a double drag back for a starter anyway.
Not even Ron could think of a term to describe it.
Exquisite.
He will. Di Canio. Just behind Canute, Keane away. Starting to open up a little bit now. Oh, into Keane. Plenty of support. It's Sheringham. First touch, strangely, wasn't the best. Tihin got it away.
He's defended very well, you know, Tihin. He's been very sharp. He's blotted a few things out, taken things out in the air.
Just a feeling that Manchester United are coming for them now. The very fact that we're seeing more and more of the likes of Tihin. Cole lets it run. Giggs. Cole couldn't quite gather it in his stride, but retains possession. Away by Tihin. And as far as Silvestre. Now Giggs, little back heel. Sheringham with a return. Giggs! Starting to click, Manchester United.
Yeah,
it's not got a touch, it's a corner.
Some brilliant little interplay around the edge of the box, and just feeds it in, little over it, knows full well the return's on its way, and that's a great save, you know, terrific save. He might have his problems kicking, but if he kicks the ball out like that, he'll have done his job.
Beckham in towards Silvestre, dealt with by Pearce.
Tell you, have a little look at the next corner they get United. Have a look how much room Sheringham's getting. He's getting in that little position round the back, and nobody's paying him too much attention.
Beyond the far post.
Yeah, and I think that's knowing him.
They will get another corner, you can be sure of that. Butts cross, dealt with by Sherman, hit by Roy Keane.
Hanging on now, West Ham. They're coming, they're blazing with all guns now, United. Keane and Butter making the forward runs, and Beckham is very often sitting there as the playmaker. Good hit, thankfully for West Ham, straight down the keeper's throat.
I just wonder whether the gambles that Harry Redknapp has taken on Shaka Hislop and Frederick Canute are going to come off for him here. They both look like players who were doubtful prior to the game. Although Hislop had a wonderful save there, that's the problem. The kicking, straight to Sheringham.
But I can't believe the defenders should try and take more responsibility on. They know he's got major problems.
Terrific control from
I think
they'd
be better off just kicking it into touch sometimes than setting up again.
Keane to Irwin. Beckham is wide of him. Irwin tucked into Sheringham. Picked off though by Joe Cole.
That's good play.
Lampard to Carrick. Now Cole, that triumvirate of England hopefuls linking and bringing the Frenchman Shermel into it. Cole again. West Ham have worked this well. Canute. Lampard. Di Canio is wide on the right-hand side. Clever little reverse ball. Looking for Shermel, but that's the pace of Silvestre catching up.
I actually think Shermel was taken by surprise there. I think he thought once Di Canio had gone in field, he was going to go for goal. He reversed it, disguised it very, very well. But I think you've got to give West Ham credit for the way they're hanging on, because it's hard to play against a team when United are in this form.
That is the West Ham standby goalkeeper, Craig Forrest. As concerns mount about the full fitness of the man who's out there, Shaka Hislop. Beckham coming in field, but now Giggs. Christian Daly saw it. He's just coming back at them because Canute is a lonely figure and at the moment rather under power figure.
Yeah, when you talk about Cole and Di Canio, oh, that's
clever from back towards Keane. Winterburn saw it well. Cole to Irwin. Giggs arriving at the far post, got in front of Shermel but couldn't direct his header with any power.
Defender's done well there. Shermel, he's done very well. He's made sure that Ryan Giggs can't come in and have a clean header at that. Good deep cross there. Giggs is useful in the air coming in from there, but he's just eased him into a bad position. But at the moment, with Di Canio and Cole, who have got those sort of wide attacking jobs, dropping back to fill in midfield, they're being forced so far back that subsequently, whenever Canute does get the ball, he's way on his own.
Christian Daly taking this West Ham goal kick. Lampard. Di Canio. Silvestre managed to get a foot to the ball. Sheringham to Keane. Beckham. Cole. It's down to Silvestre. Giggs. Fantastic change of direction again. Tihinen came across and then stumbled. Giggs has been penalised. Maybe just clipped the finish in the national.
I think Tihinen may have got the sympathy vote here a little bit. A stumble. Yeah.
Giggs unlucky.
Very.
Six weeks ago, Liverpool proved that Old Trafford is not quite impregnable, although Real Madrid are the only other team who've won here during the last 2 years. It's nearly 12 years since anyone beat Manchester United in an FA Cup match on this pitch. Being drawn to play here is good news for your bank manager, but nobody else. Keane. Cole. Lampard went all the way with Keane, but how far can Hislop now propel it? That's the question. A bit further this time, although he had a lot of time.
Yeah, he's got to grit his teeth and make sure he clears at least the midfield with it.
Canute. First time we've already seen him stretching his legs. Silvestre catching up with him. In the end, it bounced off Canute. He's got a calf strain, that's the problem. That's not something you can run off, it's something you've got to protect. Keane to Sheringham. Sees passes that others don't, even simple short passes like that, but into the path of Silvestre. Butts control letting him down and inviting Di Canio to go forward. Showed a bit too much of that to Keane. To Cole, who's got Winterburn tiptoeing forward on this left-hand side into some space. Here's Nigel Winterburn. Useful cross in towards Di Canio, clears everybody. Sebastian Shermel. Header away by Jaap Stam. Joe Cole. Frank Lampard. Straight to Roy Keane, he couldn't have played it more accurately. And a good first 15 minutes here, West Ham, but they haven't quite been able to go on from that.
I think that's more down to United. And I think United have had plenty of the ball. The movement's been terrific. What West Ham have done...
He's onside here, Canute, found by Cole. Ooh, in towards Lampard, it only just cleared Frank Lampard's head there. It's out as far as Winterburn. Di Canio is onside. Well tackled by Gary Neville.
See, that's the area you expect Paolo Di Canio to operate. And it's all right being in the centre circle, beating man after man. That's where you expect him when he's 1v1 in the box.
Foul by Carrick on Giggs. On by Sheringham. Giggs running at Daly. Cole running ahead of him. Stuart Pearce doing well though for West Ham. He's going to go back to his goalkeeper, that's for sure.
Oh, he's right there as well. Edge of the box. If he rolls it back to the keeper from there, they can virtually crowd him down from there.
Silvestre. Too long for Cole. Winterburn. Only as far as Irwin. Cole with the touch on. Tihinen with the touch away. Lampard in the way that time. West Ham have got possibilities here on the break with Joe Cole finding Frank Lampard. Silvestre trying to catch up. Canute and Di Canio are in the break too, and disappointing ball really from Lampard, although Canute has won it back. Beautifully done. Schürrle. Headed by Gary Neville. Keane there ahead of Cole. Carrick winning it back from Sheringham. Joe Cole, Frederick Canute. Fair challenge by Nicky Butt. Silvestre's got it to Giggs. Now Butt, Beckham. Cleverly on with the outside of his foot to Sheringham. Cole between defenders, just couldn't quite gather it. Now he's playing Beckham in. Giggs is forward too. It's Ryan Giggs to the far side. Wonderful football at both ends. From the moment a minute or so ago that Canute bamboozled Manchester United with a back flick, to the moment when Beckham set his chance up for Giggs. Terrific stuff. Yeah,
feeds it just in there, and Giggs, that's a miss. That is a distinct miss. I mean, great ball in. Giggs should, he's unfortunate he's hit the ball into the ground. It may very well be that the defender would have got a block on it anyway, but flowing, quick, fast movement. As you say, good play at both ends of the field.
Di Canio. Lampard. Canute. He's held off Stam, that takes some doing. Canute accelerating. Well, he had Cole making a run ahead of him, but that's Frederick Canute. He is such an individual talent, and Harry Redknapp knows he has to live with those moments to get so many of the wonderful moments with which he has decorated his season.
What is particularly good is this, the strength he holds people off and the confidence, and then when he gets away from people, all right, it's a wild shot. Whether he's in two minds, whether the feed call him, but the way he receives the ball with the defender up his back and manages to get turned round quickly.
Di Canio unhappy that the decision went Manchester United's way. One of the great protesters. Away by Daly. Stam. Silvestre. Giggs coming looking for the ball. And from a standing start, he wrong foot Schürrle and finds Silvestre. Turned away by Tihinen, and Cole doing his work inside the penalty area. Beckham. Sebastian Schürrle bringing West Ham forward. Michael Carrick. Canio. Latest score, incidentally, in the other fourth-round match being played at this moment. A 1 o'clock kickoff with the Reebok, and Bolton Wanderers are well on their way into the fifth-round draw. They lead Scunthorpe by 5 goals to 1. The draw for the fifth round is live on ITV after our main match here this afternoon, which, as we approach the latter stages of the first half, is still goalless. Neville. He's looking for Giggs to make that out-to-win run, and Tihinen wasn't aware that Giggs hadn't made it. Hislop off limits. Misunderstanding there.
Yeah, that's the thing, when you're not completely sure about your keeper behind you, that sort of thing can spread in the defence a little bit.
Tihinen's English is good. Shermel's isn't too bad. Keane to Neville. Sheringham. Neville, oh, it was clipped by Winterburn just outside the box. Skidded a long way into it. He's been involved with a few spats with Manchester United down the years, Nigel Winterburn.
Yeah, there's no question here, though. It's a slick 1-2. Neville goes for it. He is outside the box. And I was a little bit surprised at Nigel Winterburn tackling off the wrong side there.
He was one of the players involved in that famous bust-up here back in 1990 in that big match with Arsenal.
At the moment, they're outnumbering United. United are outnumbering far post, outnumbering West Ham.
First opportunity for David Beckham to display his skills from the dead ball. It's Beckham. Oh, and it took an important touch from Shaka Hislop. Beckham, who has scored a couple of free kicks against West Ham in the last year. Jones by Pearce. Oh, into Giggs. Charged down by Winterburn. Beckham. So much disguise on the pass, but Buck couldn't resist Pearce, and Cole brings it away. One back by Giggs. Skips away from Carrick. Sheringham just couldn't quite kill the ball, which came in awkwardly to him, and a lot of pace on it. Di Canio back to Shermel. Change of direction by Di Canio, wrong foot Sylvestre. Shermel couldn't keep it in. It's a throw-in.
Yeah, they're getting when they get so far pressed back.
This is Hislop's save.
Oh, it's a good fingertip one, particularly in view of the fact he's hampered with the injury. I just thinking West Ham would get really pushed back when United come at them, and they're all willing, they're all hanging on to try and keep that, prevent United from scoring. I just wonder if they could, if you like, one of the midfield players could, if you like, cheat a little bit and stay up the field and give Canute a bit of support, because virtually when they win it, they just hammer the ball back and it goes through a United defender and the attack keeps coming at them.
I suppose Harry Redknapp may feel the longer the game goes at 0-0, the more he can start to think about that in the later stages.
Oh yeah, I mean, he'll be saying, don't let them score, don't let them score. And it's hard really, because they've stuck to the task, they battle, and for all their play, United haven't had that many chances.
Canute, he's done well to rescue possession there against two defenders, Di Canio, Carrick. Trying his luck from range again. Coming up on ITV, the next live football is in 2 weeks' time, the return of the Champions League, Valentine's night. Ask her to stay in and watch Des with you live in Valencia versus Manchester United. We've got highlights of Leeds and Arsenal the night before. All the details on our website, itv-football.co.uk. Keane taking on Pearce. Former teammates at Nottingham Forest. Former Cup finalists together. Daly saw him off at the expense of another corner. Both Stam and Sylvestre forward. Sheringham is freebie on the far post again. Towards Yep Stam. Down towards Andy Cole. Shermel did what he could. Sylvestre turned it goalwards. And Shermel had the final say, scrambling the ball out of the danger area, though Sylvestre has won it back again. He's improved a lot, hasn't he, Mikel Sylvestre, in the last 2 or 3 months?
Yeah, good contest that, though, there between those two.
Canute. Looking for people to run beyond him, and Sheringham had got back and forced the error.
Yeah, he had options then, Canute. He had 1 or 2 where he could have just dropped it off and further upfield himself without the ball.
Dennis Irwin. Fed into Andy Cole. Took that well and got his shot away well too, and equally well blocked by Christian Daly.
Yeah, the three at the back have been superb in terms of doing the ugly things, blocking out, closing down, scrambling. And they've had to, because United have been, well, irresistible at times coming forward, but they've stuck to the task and still 0-0.
Beckham takes. Header away by Daly. But back into the danger area. Pierce away. Di Canio. It's lost out to Irwin in a dangerous part of the field. Beckham's cross deflected and into the arms of Shaka Hislop, to the great relief of Paolo Di Canio. No flag against him here as he chases the goalkeeper's long clearance. Stam just managed to turn it down to Irwin.
And I know it's hard for the front players, but the last 2 attacks that United have mounted have both been as a result of Canute and Di Canio surrendering the ball.
Beckham. But now Neville. Irwin forward. Towards the head of Sheringham, trying to protect it for Giggs, who tries to knock it back to Sheringham. That's a clever reverse ball. Ryan Giggs stretching, right foot. Not the ideal combination for him. And I think maybe Teddy Sheringham had a... Oh, well, maybe it wasn't Teddy, who didn't seem to see the funny side of it. And somebody said something to Giggs. Canute. Oh, terrific ball jugglery. He just run it out. It was a throw. It's loose from Neville. Ball's out.
Just looking at that Shermel, he may have, Sebastian Shermel, he's wasted a couple of good opportunities of producing crosses in the top half of the field, but defensively there's not been too much wrong with him.
Call him Harry Potter if he can concoct a spell to win here without half a dozen of his first choice players. Beckham's lost out. This is Winterburn. Lampard. Sherman's provided a good out for West Ham down that right hand side. Not always the best ball into the box. Cole. Di Canio joining in. Now Canute. Di Canio to Shermel. Get out by Stam. Again, not the best of crosses from the Frenchman. Two added minutes to play at the end of the first half.
Well, I'd certainly be happier if it stays like this than they were the last time they were here, West Ham. And they've deserved it. United, for me, have pushed the game, been stronger, good movement, but really haven't opened them up too many times.
Forward by Pierce. Awkward one for Neville, with Canute arriving on the scene at a rate of knots, but he nudged to Neville.
He's a bit naive at times, Canute, when he's challenging for the ball. He's give 1 or 2 little fouls away when he's just leaned into people or pushed people.
Canute fouled himself this time by Stam. Last opportunity maybe for West Ham to prize something out of the half. Di Canio. Winterburn making the run. Cole. Made space for a shot.
Yeah, decent effort. He didn't have too many options on, and he decided to try and see if Barthez was either asleep or hitting it through the crowd might have been unsighted.
Sylvestre. Cole. Pills for handball against Chermel, but it just bounced up and hit him. It is a Manchester United throw despite his appeal. Neville. Sheringham. Knocked against the chest of Stuart Pearce. No time for the corner. It's half-time. No goals, no lack of intrigue or suspense. Manchester United have looked the most likely. Shaggy Hislop has looked less than happy at times, but he's been well protected in the main. Beckham has threatened him from the free kick. West Ham United are still very much a part of this match. Plenty for the boys to talk about, because at half-time in this AXA-sponsored FA Cup fourth-round tie, it's Manchester United 0, West Ham United 0.
Manchester United 0, West Ham 0. We promised you entertainment. I don't think we've let you down on that score, despite the fact there's no goals. Terry, there have been some delightful moments in that. What's your reading of that first half?
I thought they've done very well, West Ham. The only problem they've got is supporting Canute. And sometimes Winterburn's gone all the way across the field with Beckham. And if Di Canio's with Irwin, he's going to have to go all the way back, and he's taking him well away. I'd like to see him just in contact with Canute so they can do some damage together.
The West Ham shape, if they're losing
yeah,
a bit
they've
of shape.
Got good shape, but occasionally they go man to man instead of trying passing them over to other players, and leave Di Canio to do a little defensive duty, but help in the midfield, but not taking him back. Just is able to support Canute as quick as he can.
There've been some super skills on show though, as we.
Yeah. We promised flair and skill and entertainment. We've seen that. We haven't seen the goals, but it's phenomenal. Individual skills. And
yes.
People like Ryan Giggs coming into the game after 25 minutes, unfortunately.
Even the goalkeeper.
Right from the minute, he set the tone, didn't he? Barthez, £7 million worth of talented goalkeeper.
This is Di Canio at his best, skipping through, happy feet.
And the one thing about
this is wonderful.
The one thing about West Ham, and Ryan Giggs has got phenomenal skill. He leaves the pair of them dirty, the two defenders. It can be a little bit like a circus act if there's no end product, and that's what Ryan Giggs is producing in him. He's producing the danger for me, and he's the one who looks the most likely to break the deadlock.
Freddie Parrot-Face Davies.
Don't watch the eyes. It's great to watch.
The eyes. Now look, was there a handball here? I mean,
it was.
It looked it, didn't it?
It was. It was
Christian Daly, West Ham. In the
he lost his foot and then he panicked. It goes there. He slips and then he thinks it's going to go to one of their players, and out comes his arm there. It's like beach football.
Beach volleyball.
Volleyball it is.
Yeah, volleyball. Yeah.
Just one arm. That's a definite.
It's only one arm though. It's only one arm.
They got away with that.
Yeah.
We were expecting some goals really in that first half. United went close, didn't they, a few times? Not
as many as they normally get. To be fair, they've got usually have 3 or 4 real dangers in their side going forward. And today, at the moment, Giggs is the main threat. But you can see here, there's a lovely pass through here to Cole. He loses his foot and gives him a nice ball. He usually shoots. This is the pass of the match for me. But Giggs, as well as his plan, didn't make the contact that he was really looking for.
Then needed a good save, didn't it?
That's tremendous skill. You don't realise how hard it is to get it up and down. I couldn't believe he's actually taken a free kick. First of all, it's a guaranteed left-footed position there. If it had been a foot to Hislop's right, and I think it's in the back of the net. And forget about he's hampered with his knee injury. No goalkeeper would have saved that if it's a little bit further to the right. But Barthez hasn't had to make a save.
No. But what about Hislop? I mean, the kicking's a bit of a problem for him, clearly, isn't it?
It is. I mean, if you're a defender, you'd like to, and now it's very much part of the game, the kicking, isn't it? We see people like Sander Westerveld, Barthez, in fact, who are very comfortable with the ball back, and it's important that the defenders feel that. They don't, but unfortunately, they keep playing it back to them.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll cost them as long as they keep concentration. I think they'll get away with it.
Does Canute look completely fit to you? Or
not completely, but he's doing all right. I mean, the main fact is he's isolated, and sometimes, every time the ball comes in, they've got one banging in the back of him and two to pick up the pieces. Yeah. So he's surrounded. He's got to have that connection from the midfield to the front.
Well, we've had the skill. We need the goals in the second half. There are certainly... Well, we've had tons of skill here, as we expected, but no goals, sadly, at the moment. But West Ham will be delighted with that, won't they, Terry? If they get back for a draw, it'd be fantastic.
Very pleased with that. They'll keep it tight, but I think Man United can only get better. They'll throw out more of what they've already given them. The same shape, the same things will happen. And I say the same things. There's a lot of interchanging, and they have to deal with West Ham, but they're doing that very well. I just want to see them try and get up with Canuti a little bit more.
Yeah. That's what West Ham have got to do in the second half.
Yeah, I think I'd be slightly fearful if I'm West Ham's manager, because I think we haven't seen the best of Beckham, we haven't seen much of Cole, we haven't seen much of Teddy Sheringham, in all honesty. And I think
Butt, I haven't noticed.
Nicky Butt, yeah, he's had a very quiet game, but I'm talking about going forward in the sense of being attacking and breaking West Ham down. And I think Man U as a team have got another 1 or 2 gears, and those 3 players I mentioned, I think Alex would expect more from them in the second half. They've got more artillery, and we haven't seen the best of them, but with somebody like Ryan Giggs in the side, they need a spark, I think. I think Manchester need a spark, and that spark might just be, for our benefit, a West Ham goal. I'd like to see it. To see Manchester United have to
really make the match something if West Ham were to score 4. As impartial observers, that's desperate.
Not anti-Man U, though.
Not at all. We wouldn't dare be, would we?
No, scared of Alex.
But United won't change anything, as you say.
No, they won't. No, they won't. They'll just keep coming at them and giving more and more of it, and they'll get pressed further and further back. And there is an argument for Sat to Canio. All right, we'll now defend with 1 less. You just sit there, stand there, and just wait for us to break.
I'm surprised you say Beckham's been quiet. I mean, you think he's been quiet in that first half?
I think he's been quiet. I think he's been drifting in from the right-hand side, as Terry picked out, and he's been dragging Nigel Winterburn. I've been trying to isolate
but
Canio at the left back.
Crosses.
Not really. One thing that concern me as well, if the Canio's in the left back position, of course, that's not where you want him. And also, from midfield, Joe Cole's been caught. It's not his forte tracking back in, but he's been caught a couple of times. Roy Keane's been getting there a couple of times, and Ryan Giggs been getting there. Nicky Butt made 1 run. It's not his forte. They need the ball in midfield in West Ham. Joe Cole on the ball, tremendous. Without the ball, a little bit wanting.
But what you seem to be doing for our viewers is guaranteeing them goals for the second half. I mean, from what you've said.
I think we'll get goals in the second half. Yeah.
You think we get some?
Yeah.
Late on, I mean, they do that rather well, United, don't they?
Well, you think you've got them and you're holding on, and just when you think you're about to achieve it, they score, and they do it regularly.
They can get goals from different areas as well, can't they?
Yeah. The danger for West Ham is if they end up 0-0 here today, or get a draw and take them back, there's no guarantee you beat United is on your own territory by any means.
But you live to fight another day, don't you?
You live to have
maybe
another
get
go.
a few people back from injuries and so forth.
Who in the West Ham team do you feel has had a good first half there?
I think Carrick's been steady and he's looked composed. If you look away from the back 3, who I think have been superb and very tight and together, which they've needed to be, if you look for a little bit of creativity, Joe Cole hasn't produced an awful lot. Canio has been quiet. Canuti's been at times been a bit of a thorn, but I think Carrick showed a lot of maturity in there.
Thanks. We can hear from Alex Ferguson before we go back to Clive. He's with Gary.
Alex, we've seen plenty of skill, but where are the goals going to come from?
Well, we've missed 2 or 3. But I'm quite pleased the performance level's good. Possession and movement is good. We just have to hopefully wear them down and maintain the tempo.
Do you need to move up a gear, do you think?
Well, I think I'm happy with the performance.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Manchester United's last FA Cup campaign had its hairy moments. Late winners against Middlesbrough and Liverpool here in the early rounds before the heroics from Schmeichel and Giggs in the semi-final replay against Arsenal. And of course, Teddy Sheringham's decider at Fulham didn't arrive until the 89th minute 3 weeks ago. The threat will remain throughout the second half, Rod.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they'll peg away, they'll keep playing, they won't go under at all mentally. That might just be the danger for West Ham, whether they can keep the concentration and the focus for another 45 minutes when they're going to be having to dig in an awful lot.
Frank Lampard, almost with an apology, rolls the ball back to Shaka Hislop. I think they just keep forgetting. That is,
he has wellied the ball over the halfway line, so there can't be too much wrong with him. It's about every time he whacks it, he just straightens his knee again. But here's the man,
Giggs. Sherman got back to him. There was a ricochet there, and the end result is a corner kick. Giggs has been in high form since He came back from his annual hamstring break at the start of December. He has won this corner. Beckham takes towards the Amsterdam, headed away by Christian Daly. Joe Cole. He's quite a strongly built player for a small player in inches, but it's quite thick set. And he was holding off Roy Keane there and winning a free kick.
Yeah, I think my first observations of him, I think at times he could do with just playing a bit more 1 and 2 touch. Don't invite the challenge, and when he's got time to, as soon as he can lose the marker, then take the game forward.
Butt run off the ball by Lampard. Free kick given against Nicky Butt. One against Sylvestre, but again outnumbered. Fouling stamp. Beckham, headed by Pearce. 1991 was his cup final year. He was scorer at Wembley in the Nottingham Forest team, beaten by Spurs, twice a beaten semi-finalist. Beat West Ham in the semi-final that year, and Roy Keane was a goal scorer in quite an infamous game at Villa Park when Tony Gale was sent off early on. All these memories, part of the tapestry of famous clubs such as these. 3 of West Ham's 4 major successes down the years have come in this competition. Won it in the 60s, won it in the 70s, won it in the 80s. Manchester United 4 FA Cups in the 90s alone. Canute is offside.
First impressions, if it looks very much as if West Ham were trying to squeeze the game a little bit higher up the field, which is understandable, but now getting forced back, that long ball's forced them back.
Giggs, away by Tihinen. Sylvestre. Keane. Gary Neville offering himself. Owen. Sheringham is onside here. West Ham undone. Off the line by Tihinen. Helped on its way by Hislop. Biggest escape yet for the visitors. Teddy Sheringham breaking the offside trap. Denied by Hannu Tihinen. Chance for West Ham to counter. Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Frank Lampard, Nigel Winterburn, now Paolo Di Canio. Cole managing to slip away from Keane. Canute, Cole, Sherman. 2 to aim for, but Sylvestre very quick.
Yeah, only needed one touch there. Needed one touch there. I don't think whether it was the 2 bad balls he put in the first half. But look at this. They're looking for him offside. I don't think he is offside. No.
Definitely on.
And that's a brilliant defensive play there, you know, by Tihinen. Brilliant. He's been impressive for me today, the Finnish defender.
This is the end of Old Trafford, at which the huge West Ham travelling support is gathered. Pearce takes in towards Tihinen. I think it was the defender Butt at the near post who turned it away. Cole trying his luck. It'll come back to him. Crowded out. Joe Cole. It needed 5 or 6 of them. Stam away. Now Beckham surrounded. Lampard. Beckham very late. Very late.
Yeah, it's a booking. That's a booking. Yeah, that's a little bit of. Lost his nerve a little bit, his rag a little bit from the previous time. Fortunately for Lampard, he managed to skip out the way.
It wasn't a vicious challenge, but it was hopelessly mistimed, and he seemed to have a bit of a cause there, David Beckham, as he raced forward. Winterburn. Headed by Stam. sure that Dennis Owen particularly wanted that, or Roy Keane.
That's what I think Harry Redknapp's probably said to them at half-time, that push the game up the field a little bit more, and let's see if we can put a bit more pressure. They're trying to pressure in little groups now. They're trying to force the tempo.
Canute. Carrick. Now Lampard. Now Carrick!
Oh, if only he could have faced that one across the goal. Di Canio was empty on the far post.
Given away by Beckham inside his own half. He's got to watch himself here. Canute. He's won it and won a free kick. Chance for Michael Carrick.
It's a very slick one too. I think he's easing him away from goal. Stam's not showing him much. If he could have just wrapped his foot around it and played it across the face, they would have had a definite goal. But I tell you, the tempo was pretty high in the first half, but it's increased. You know, the boys were talking about at half-time United going up a gear or two. I think the game has gone up a gear or two, both sides.
And all being played amidst a wonderful sense of occasion.
What I'm a bit surprised at is Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole come so far back on this, you know. They can't be offside. I think they'd be well advised to go and stand on the edge of the penalty area.
Stuart Pearce, effectively the second defender back there, would be playing the ball onside. He takes the goal kick. Miscued by Dennis Irwin.
But there's definitely been something, I think definitely something's been said at half-time to the West Ham players about closing earlier. First half they're a bit inclined to come back in their shape, get back to the halfway line, and sometimes get picked off and paid all the way back. Now they're trying to play the game another 20, 30 yards up the park. With a bigger emphasis, I would guess, on hustling and harassing.
West Ham working their way up the touchline, almost rugby fashion. Winterburn thinks he can launch one here. Can't get it past Keane though. Owen's forward ball breaking off a Cole. He's gone away from Daly. Andy Cole! Good save by Hislop. Oh, and over by Sheringham. Hislop rode his luck and made a good save from Andy Cole. But Teddy Sheringham, arriving at a rate of knots, couldn't control the ball on the rebound.
But that's Andy Cole's biggest moment of the game. He's cut in good work. He somehow managed to block it, and Teddy Sheringham, of all people, here at this moment in time, there's a chance to play it across the keeper for Giggs. He opts to shoot. Keeper makes a very brave block, and Sheringham, of all people.
Not the smartest thing to do when you're looking for a new contract, actually.
But I tell you what wasn't half effective in that, little things that get unnoticed. Beckham made a 60-yard dash just forward and took the whole team backwards, took the whole of the West Ham defence backwards.
Given away by Butt. Here's Cole. Di Canio. Sherman has made a forward break. Di Canio pulls three to him and then feeds Joe Cole. Ah, terrific. Cole to Sherman. Now Di Canio. Breaks the challenge from Stam. Doesn't break a Roy Keane challenge though. Beckham away. Now Andy Cole. Turning to run at West Ham again and feed Roy Keane. And now into the path of Ryan Giggs. West Ham are undone. It's Giggs. Saved by Hislop. Oh, he had men over. And those men are furious with Ryan Giggs. Three of them.
But what a power break. Look at the red shirts flooding forward.
Look at Keane over at the far post.
Yeah, that's happened by both sides. They've had the opportunities to play balls across the face, but I think a lot of people in Giggs' situation would have tried the lot. May have done better if he'd gone across the keeper with his shot. But what is for sure that certainly West Ham haven't settled for a draw.
turn that volume control up and get a feel for this marvellous afternoon at Old Trafford.
I was listening to a conversation today. Here he is again. He is a tight angle. I'm not altogether sure, unless he'd have dug it out, that he could have got it to the far post, whether the defender's just done enough to face him off. But I was listening to a conversation on a radio programme when they had somebody saying the cup's lost its glamour and its glitter, and possibly it has, but this is a proper cup. I can almost say a proper cup final. Cup tie.
Cole. Sometimes, you know, with his shirt out and he starts to dribble, it looks like the little boy who's joined in the adult game. Barthez with a save, just touching away from Canute. Flag is up against Frederic Canute. If it had come back to him, he would have been ruled offside, but Joe Cole nearly scored himself.
Yeah, he's unleashed this with some power, little one step over it, and he has hit that well, and Barthez, fortunately for West Ham, the offside thing didn't count against them.
Giggs kept it in for Shermill. Here's Cole again, really starting to enjoy himself now on the ground on which he made his league debut. Sheringham was a bit late to Cole there, but he managed to get his pass off to Canute. Cole is still down. Winterburn. Di Canio. Canute. It was a very precise return pass that was required there. But they've got a throw in down there, West Ham. Pierce. Canute. Tihinen's header.
We've said that a few times today, you know. He's got his head in front of quite a few things.
Finland are at Anfield in March for that vital World Cup qualifier against England, and he and Herpy will give England something to think about, that's for sure. They played against Sheringham and Cole in the goalless game in Helsinki earlier in the campaign. He's played at the Millennium Stadium too, Tihinen, in the international football against Ryan Giggs, so he's not short of experience, even though he's not a name that we know or find particularly easy to pronounce. Barry Venison said quite rightly at half-time that Fabien Barthez hadn't made a save in the first half. He has now. West Ham are still very much a factor in this side. Shermill, Cole.
I think this is one of the big reasons. I would say Harry Redknapp has set the Cole. Forget about the defensive side of the game. Go out and try and take the game to them.
Di Canio in towards Canute. He's asked a bit too much of him. Silvestre didn't get a touch. It is a goal kick.
In the first half, Joe Cole would, and in fact Di Canio would spend a lot of time just drifting back, running back with people. Now, certainly Cole has been a big influence.
Keane. Carrick stayed with him. Giggs. Which way will he go next? Inside. Now on the outside. Weaving run from Giggs. Terrific pass. Sheringham, Cole!
Just tucked it up a little bit tight. A little ball in from Sheringham into Cole. It's just tucked up a little bit tight for him to get a clean volley on it. Once again, the threat went for a defender. Which way is he going? Can you tackle him? Is he going to go in, out, in between you?
Mesmeric run by Ryan Giggs. Shermill. Lampard making the break from midfield this time. Yapstam deals with it. Wasn't Bartez's best clearance, but it's formed to a red shirt.
You know, for one moment I thought he was going to take Lampard on there.
I think he thought about it. Irwin to Sheringham. Game now beautifully spread. but just unable to pick up Giggs, but he's found Cole. Little back heel, Giggs with a touch on. Shermel sticking to the task. Certainly knows his way to the Millennium Stadium. Manchester United got the rooms all booked. All they need now is to win a few games. Beckham's corner. Sheringham was on the move to the near post. Keane almost reached it too. Away by Cole. Owen's pass picked off by Canute. Just couldn't quite gather it in.
Desperately unlucky there, Big Freddie, wasn't he?
Beckham. Carrick in the way. Lampard onto Cole. Now Sherman. Possibilities here. Cole's got on the outside. Sherman has gone for glory.
I think once he gets into the last 30 yards of the field, Sherman, and what I've seen today, I think he should stop and give it quickly to another player. He's done very well up until that point. He's tackled, he's blocked crosses, but he hasn't been the most inventive player in the final third.
Harry's had his share of FA Cup upsets to explain away in the past, but 17 years ago, he was the man in charge of the Bournemouth team that put out the holders, Manchester United, in the third round, one of the great upsets of modern times, and to make things even worse for the Manchester United manager at the time, Harry Redknapp claimed it's the worst Bournemouth side he ever had, and that he gave them free transfers at the end of the season.
And rightly so. They were hopeless.
2-0, 2-0, Ron, I think.
The irony of it was,
can happen though.
The irony of it was we just beaten we beat Barcelona about a week or two later, Maradona and all. And I always said, well, if they'd have ever played Bournemouth, they'd have got Welsh time.
Sylvester. Almost reached Andy Cole.
Yeah, that's where the keeper, that's where the indecision comes in. That should have been mopped up easy. Daly had one eye on Cole, one eye on whether the keeper was coming.
Cole on the ball again. Dispossessed by Giggs this time. Slipped through towards Andy Cole. Hislop's on the way.
Yeah, he's got to grit his teeth. I mean, when he has kicked it clean, he's hit it well over the halfway line, Hislop. So he's got to just grit his teeth and get on with it. He'll have a day off tomorrow.
Beckham. Good tackle by Winterburn. Problems here for Manchester United. Carrick on the ball. Only Canute ahead of him, trying to play him in, and he had other options if he'd been a bit more patient, maybe. Beckham got away with that a bit. Sheringham. Slipped through to Andy Cole. Across comes Christian Daly. Cole made it awkward for him, though. It's a West Ham throw. You almost must feel if every game was like this, he'd be spoiled for choice. But if you really want to know how much the FA Cup still means, ask the supporters and the players and managers of Leeds United and Aston Villa and Everton today. There'll be an empty feeling in one of the Old Trafford dressing rooms come 4 o'clock this afternoon if we get an outcome. No competition plays with the hopes and the dreams quite like this one, and you're either in or you're out. Sherman. Canute. Very, very tight, very, very close. That's the way he likes it. He's eventually bumped into conceding possession.
At times when he receives, you know, you think he hasn't got a clue what he's going to do, and all of a sudden he does a little bit of magic. You think, why don't you just give a simple ball, son? simple ball to him was a backheeler facing splitting 3 defenders with it.
His long legs always seem to be able to reel the ball in just as you feel it's running out of his control.
Tell you it'll be an interesting forward line, him and Canu together.
Need 2 balls, I think. Keane to Neville. Cole. Here's Dennis Irwin on his bike. Di Canio coming back with him. Beckham. Towards Sheringham. Towards a looper. Goal kick. Good cross from Beckham.
Yeah, as soon as it's knocked back, the forwards can trigger because they know exactly what's going to happen. He doesn't dwell on it. One touching in and they can make the runs. They can time the runs in on it.
Midpoint of the second half at a goalless Old Trafford. Bolton Wanderers are already through to the 5th round, having beaten Scunthorpe by 5 goals to 1 this afternoon. A hat-trick for Dean Holdsworth, who had a part to play in last year's FA Cup story. The draw is live on ITV after this match.
Tell you what, this fella, Joe Cole, first half, as I say, played like just trying to restrict people. Second half, he's had more touches of the ball, I think, than any player on the field. Be interesting to see how his stamina holds up now in a high-tempo game like this, because he's still only very much a kid.
19 last November. Manchester United have the stronger bench, no doubt about that. Dwight York is there, also Ollie Solskjaer. Free kick has been given.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised at half-time if Alex hadn't changed. Andy Cole hasn't been at his sharpest. I know that's a dangerous thing to say. He's been out of the game and he could make it. Can make them look definitely a goal.
Oh, into Keane. Dummy. Neville. Giggs. It's drifting over Cole and beyond Sheringham. Owen.
The other thing that West Ham did, you know, immediately after half-time, they put a lot of hard work in running and closing down. And OK, if you can get a goal up and get some joy, that you don't feel tired. But if United get the chance to start moving the ball about again on them, you may see 1 or 2 sort of go very tired.
Beckham. Now Keane. Cole. Pass to himself. Oh, handball there, definitely by Daly on the edge of the penalty area. Got away with 1 in the first half. That was a bit more intentional.
I think they're that pumped up that it's like they shall not pass at any cost, and I mean that's taking it a bit too far. Also means a very, very dangerous position. I said it before, I saw Birmingham score one yesterday against Fulham, nobody on the line. I think it's important from this range with the sort of shooters they've got. Man, they've got to defend somebody on the line with his luck.
Well, he scored a free kick at Upton Park right at the start of the season. He scored one in a big win here for Manchester United last season.
Don't think people realise how little the keeper can see from behind that wall, you know. He's already hampered as well, we know.
And there are 3 red shirts in the wall.
They're trying to even...
It's Beckham, straight into that wall. And as far as Giggs, tucked up with his right foot towards Silvestre. Hislop was a little slow in coming, and Andy Cole managed to get a foot to the ball to direct it out to Keane. And Cole is there. Out as far as David Beckham. Wouldn't come down for him. Header away by Carrick. Winterburn to Di Canio. Carrick away. Got taken late by Beckham.
Yeah, buys them a bit of time as well. Gives them a chance to regroup and push people up the field again, that. I think that's so important for West Ham. First half, there was a lot of times when they defended brilliantly, headed it away, but it always went to a United player and the probe kept coming at them.
Next live football on ITV is in 2 weeks' time. It's Manchester United again, the return of the Champions League. They're in Spain against Valencia, Wednesday, the 14th of February. We have a highlight show featuring Leeds and Arsenal the night before that. Canute. Beckham back there defending. Gary Neville hooked it away. If you need to check on any of the details of upcoming ITV matches, then why not visit our website, itv-football.co.uk. Winterburn. Di Canio.
Yeah, and you'd want more out of Paolo Di Canio. He's been the biggest disappointment for me today. You know, when you're looking for your big players to really perform, he's been around the edges of the game.
It's been part of his role, though, hasn't it, in a sense? He's had to restrict himself, I think, in order to play in those wide positions.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he doesn't like that. He likes to have the free spirit job in and around where he fancies. But I still think he's had once or twice he had very good possession and hasn't really looked as if he's going to make anything happen.
It's clever from Sheringham. Cole stayed onside. It's Andy Cole! He's got his angles right again.
Yeah, very tight for Cole there. Very tight, but a good threaded pass from Sheringham.
I think Cole's looked quite sharp considering this is his comeback match, really.
Yeah, he certainly looked better in the second half. I thought first half he looked a bit not quite at it.
Joko. Sebastian Schirmer. Anu Tihina. Freddie Canute. He's trying to drag the back again there. He got at the second one. Nice idea. Di Canio held back behind Irwin.
That's what they're doing there. Carrick's doing it particularly well. Lampard's doing his fair share, making United hurry the ball a lot.
I do like Michael Carrick. I think well, you'd be spoilt for choice between them. He might just be the pick of the three as time goes by. He's not 20 till the summer. Oof. Beckham saw Winterburn coming. Now Winterburn's out the game. Beckham's on the ball. Sheringham just bobbled in front of him, and well, if he can't control it, it must have bobbled. Canute. He'll take on Silvestre. The contest between two very athletic young Frenchmen. Lampard. Winterburn. Carrick. Play their way out of trouble again there. Carrick to Lampard to Cole. Sherman. Canute. Di Canio onside here. Great chance for Paolo Di Canio. He's taken it. It's West Ham United who take the lead. It's Paolo Di Canio. Manchester United thought he was offside. Fabian Barthez just seemed to stand there, almost daring him to shoot early, and Di Canio dared. It's me.
Where he does very well here. He has various ways of scoring goals, Di Canio.
Di Canio was onside.
Yeah, but here you think he must face that ball across for Lampard for a tap-in.
Well, Lampard had been offside originally.
Yeah. And he just pulls it back inside and flicks it off the outside of his foot.
What was Barthez doing? See if we can see the Manchester United goalkeeper here. Well, it seems as if he's almost stopped.
He thinks he's offside. He's making a big appeal for the offside. Whether he's trying to put Di Canio off by saying or gesturing that he thinks he's offside, I don't know. But
11 straight defeats at Old Trafford. West Ham United are in front at Old Trafford. The last time they won on this ground, Lady in Red was #1. 1986. And Di Canio, who's had to put up with one or two questions about his appetite for football on a stage like this, has answered those questions.
But that's where he's superb. In that situation, he's good. He will not have had one nerve in his body when he received that ball. He would have not thought for a minute there's any chance of failing.
Ryan Giggs in towards Andy Cole, defended by Stuart Pearce. Hang on, these last 15 minutes are going to be riveting.
I think, we said they've gone up 2 gears. I think they could go right through the roof now.
Well, 4th round last year, Manchester United versus Liverpool, same scenario, attacking, same end again. Beckham in towards Sheringham, came off Pearce, but late on Winterburn. Winterburn will need some attention. Manchester United have got Ollie Solskjaer ready to come on. Well, since Sir Alex Ferguson took over as the manager of Manchester United, they played West Ham on 24 occasions, and West Ham have beaten them once. Back in 1992, they'd already been relegated, and Ferguson has often spoken about that match. They play like men possessed. He said Kenny Brown got the goal. They've denied Manchester United a title with a draw 3 years later. There is history. And now they are trying to deny them passage in the FA Cup. And Ferguson's answer is to ready both Ollie Solskjaer and Dwight Yorke. Nicky Butt is going to be replaced, and Gary Neville is going to be replaced.
No, Dennis Irwin.
Dennis Irwin.
He got the wrong number of the guy down there, yeah.
So Solskjaer for Irwin and Yorke for Butt. Now what do they do? Go 3 in the back here?
Well, he sort of, Alex Ferguson called
Gary Neville over, didn't he?
He's going to play right back. It looks as if Keane might go and play at the back. Maybe. Or they may go to a 3-man back.
It's the front that they've tried to tailor here.
One thing's for certain, attack is going to be the policy.
Dwight Yorke hasn't played since the 3rd round at Fulham. Hasn't played much in recent weeks, as partly as a result of suspension. Talked about the question marks against Di Canio. There are 1 or 2 against Yorke at the moment, which he'd like to answer. Here's Canute, though.
Just having a look at the shape of the side, looks as if Yorke's going to play on the right-hand side, virtually as a right winger, and Solskjaer is a left winger.
Foul by Solskjaer on Sherman.
What we do know is Alex has now got all his 4 prime strikers on.
Stuart Pearce will take the free kick for West Ham. A bit too long for Tihinen. Barthez claims, uses his 6 seconds and uses the ball well too. Cole. Keane breaking beyond him. Now Solskjaer. Into Giggs. Pull the shot. Well, he's given it his best shot now with so much attacking potential out there. You've got a front 4 really of Yorke on the right, Sheringham, Cole and Solskjaer, and Giggs playing behind them with Keane and Beckham. West Ham are wasting time.
No, I don't think he can do it you can't book him for time wasting there. They've been doing that since the first minutes. With Pearce, and Pearce ran back to take the kick.
They were doing it a bit more quickly early on, that's all. Official attendance here, 67,029. It's the 9,000 travelling West Ham fans who are entertaining hopes of a famous win. Thanks to Di Canio, trying to feed Lampard.
Just going back to the goalkeeper and that Bartes. Surely, I mean, I don't know. Was he trying? Do you think he was trying to somehow or other put Di Canio off?
I think it was almost like a war of nerves he was trying to play with him. A battle of personalities.
You have to say, don't worry, pal, you're offside.
Here is Di Canio. Didn't pick it up then, did he? Tackled by Stam. Winterburn kicks over the top towards Canute, away by Neville as far as Di Canio. It's won a corner. And every second that West Ham can spend down at this end of the field in these closing 10 minutes will be a mighty relief for them. Di Canio takes, so does Bartes. Up to Solskjaer, turning away from Winterburn. Dwight York. On goes Solskjaer, cross comes Winterburn and keeps the ball in play. Lampard. Sherman. Sylvester's back there.
This has got to go route one, hasn't it, with the 4 up there?
He's such an accurate route one kicker, there, isn't he? David Beckham. In towards Andy Cole, good header by Tihinen, turned away by Joe Cole. Di Canio drawing together at the hip with Gary Neville. Di Canio was penalised. Beckham, terrific ball in. Giggs trying to let it run to Cole. It's Joe Cole who comes away with it. Frank Lampard. Can't be easy when your dad's won the FA Cup a couple of times. He must have heard that story over and over again, young Frank. Sheringham towards York. Good tackle by Winterburn. Runs away from Cole to Beckham.
I think that's where Cole's got to learn. A couple of times, and he's trying to run the ball all the while in bad areas of the field. I think he's got to just try and play the ball on there.
Andy Cole trying to turn. Winterburn away. Gary Neville down. David Beckham. Keane. Beckham. Daly clear. Cole helping it on its way. Here's Di Canio. Bartes is way out of his goal then. Di Canio's going to try and run Stam alone. It's a long way around the out Stam. Well, the traditional giant killers in the FA Cup are the Tranmere Rovers, are the Wycombe Wanderers. But this would be a giant scalp for West Ham United and a giant shock if Manchester United are beaten. Roy Keane. Dwight York. Teddy Sheringham. York goes on. Winterburn comes across.
How many times have we seen that, though? The last foot in. Whether it's been from Tiggernan, Daly, Pearce, Winterburn, they're just sticking at it.
Down at the old Stretford end of Old Trafford, Manchester United fighting for their cup lives. You only get one life in the cup. And Giggs' cross floats behind. Anxiety for Manchester United fans as we tick into the last 5 minutes. Their last FA Cup defeat was at Barnsley in a fifth-round replay nearly 3 years ago. Alex Ferguson juggled his resources that day, played one or two of the second-string players. They won nothing that season. They won everything the next. Neville, too close to the goalkeeper. Did run loose for a moment. Cole. York. Gary Neville. Turned away by Tihinen. Giggs. Header away by Pearce. Solskjaer trying to keep it alive, but Tihinen very carefully away into the path of Cole. Here's Canute. Cole has Di Canio free on the left and knew it. I think he was looking for him. He nearly found Canute instead. Roy Keane leads the next wave of Manchester United pressure. Dwight Yorke. Gary Neville spare on the right.
Harry's been desperate to get the substitute Sommer on for a long time now, but the ball's not going out to play.
Yorke in towards Giggs. Almost too many of them there. But it keeps coming back at West Ham as quickly as they clear it. Keane to Neville providing the width. Gary Neville's cross came off Stuart Pearce, cleared by Joe Cole. And straight to Frederic Canute too. And he's got support from Di Canio. It's found Di Canio. They don't actually pass to each other, those two, very much.
I was going to say, that's the most unorthodox link-up play I've ever seen.
It works. It's certainly working today. Beckham. This is Ole Solskjaer. Cut out by Carrick. Joe Cole away. Can't find a navy blue shirt though. There seem to be red shirts all over the place. Most of them goal scorers or potential. Sheringham to Beckham. Now Keane. It's opened up for Roy Keane. Just whilst we take in this change of personnel, and the goal scorer Di Canio is replaced by the Norwegian defender Raggy Sommer. Which of the personnel on view this afternoon, Ron, is your man of the match?
Well, there's been so many outstanding performances, but at the moment, if you come to Old Trafford and keep a clean sheet, you've got to give credit to defenders. And for me, Tihinen has epitomised what West Ham have been about today. He's got his head on the end of things, he's blocked challenges. But it could have been so many today, on either side. First half, Giggs.
Well, as we praise one Scandinavian defender, Hannu Tihinen, here comes another, Raggy Sommer, for his West Ham debut.
Yeah, it looks very much as if he's going to go into midfield and bolster the midfield. I thought they might just push Cole up front with Canute.
He is a left-footed player and he's gone on that side. Canute is down. Cole is still very much up and running. I think he's been penalised, Joe Cole, for pulling Mikel Silvestra's shirt. Talk about Manchester United's last defeat in the FA Cup there. Last defeat in an FA Cup game here was March 1989. Gary Parker's winner for Nottingham Forest in the quarter-final. Southampton have put them out here in a penalty shootout since, but the last time Manchester United lost an FA Cup game on this ground, late 1989. Late in the day now. Beckham. That's a terrific pass for Solskjaer. Now Cole. Trying to tee himself up, charged down by the arm of Winterburn, nothing doing. Oh, he got a lot of hand on that. Was it self-defence? Beckham in towards Solskjaer. Still not dead. Ole Solskjaer. Driven in and nobody on the end of it, but the big question mark in the midst of all that, did Nigel Winterburn deliberately, and that's the key word, deliberately stop that ball with his arm? This is the chance that followed when Solskjaer turned it in, but this was the one, Ron. Both hands.
I think United are very unlucky. They should have had a penalty in the first half, as we subsequently found out, and they definitely should have had one there.
Giggs. Cole.
I was just thinking of the chance that followed when Solskjaer faced it across the goal. How many times have you ever seen that at Old Trafford, where the ball is going to cross the goal line with nobody following it in?
How often have you heard visiting managers say that Manchester United always get the penalties at Old Trafford? Well, they haven't today. Beckham with a flick on. This is Sheringham. Gary Neville. Hislop has come for it, and Hislop has got it, and West Ham are desperately close now. There are 4 added minutes.
Big Pearce is going to come on now, and that is considerably bulk to the fray.
Header on by York, away by Winterburn. Giggs cleverly into the path of Sheringham. Oh, Stuart Pearce, who else is there? Fabian Barthez is on the way forward for the corner.
I wonder if he'll go in for the header or sit outside the box for anything that drops for his left foot.
Well, that's where he is at the moment. West Ham are going to make a substitution for all this. Ian Pearce, who's been out since Christmas through injury.
Yeah, Joe Cole's coming off that.
Substitution of West Ham United, rest of the season.
Cole replaced by Ian Pearce, another tall player to help defend this corner. And Manchester United's FA Cup hopes may come down to this corner. Beckham takes, it's a header from Silvestre. And it flies just wide. Great spring. He did about as much as he could in the circumstances.
Yeah, there's that many bodies on the line. I think he'd have had it all on to squeeze it past one of them.
Gary Neville. Stam is forward, but it's Stuart Pearce that the ball seems to be drawn almost magnetically towards. We're in the final minute of added time. Beckham back in towards Andy Cole. Clearance by Michael Carrick. There was another handball shout there. Keane's header is loose. Winterburn blasts it clear. It's Gary Neville. Last throw of the Manchester United dice. Barthez is tiptoeing forward again. Header away though is by Tahinen. Here is Fabian Barthez into Cole. Keane on by York. Won't reach Keane. Winterburn sees to that. Now Beckham in low. York again. Won't come for Giggs. Pearce got an in clearance, and so did Winterburn. Beckham keeps it alive. Sherville defending. It's an epic finale.
This is unreal.
Barthez.
It's unreal.
Now Cole. It's West Ham United's day. This is the shock of the 4th round of the FA Cup. Paolo Di Canio's goal has put the favourites out. It will not be Manchester United's year again. Di Canio's goal after 11 straight defeats at Old Trafford. The huge travelling West Ham support have got something to celebrate. That's something, their first win on this ground since 1986, since the month when Andrew and Fergie were married. And today it's Fergie who's beaten by Di Canio. West Ham going to the draw, which is coming your way on ITV. You have witnessed the event which will make tomorrow morning's headlines. The final score at Old Trafford, Manchester United 0, West Ham United 1.
Quite extraordinary result here. The favourites, Manchester United, are out of the cup. No treble for them. The 10-1 shots have won. Manchester United 0, West Ham 1. Let's hear from Harry Redknapp.
Harry, you did it with Bournemouth. Now you've knocked out Manchester United with West Ham. An incredible result.
Yeah, it was a great result. We worked our socks off today, and we played well. We passed the ball well. Difficult place to come to. There's not a better side in Europe, in my opinion, than Man United. They're a fantastic team. I thought we came here today, we were confident, we played well. My voice has gone shouting at Freddie, but no, it was a great performance.
I mean, you had the goalkeeper struggling, you had Canuti struggling.
We had an awful lot of injuries. We had a very makeshift team, you know, and but the 2 lads I brought in, I thought the Finnish lad at the back, you know, I mean, he was superb today. And the little right back who was on loan, 2 loan signings, you know, they've done great for us. But it was an all-round performance, excellent.
And what about Di Canio's goal, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want anybody in that position rather than Parlo. It was a great finisher.
Well done.
Thank you.
He's obviously delighted. There are no...
Winning formula from Old Trafford worked wonderfully again at Sunderland, although this time the special ingredient was French, not Italian. Commentary at the Stadium of Light from Guy Mowbray.
Good work from